to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Brownstone. Welcome to Tips, Topics, and Talk, your afternoon edition here in Brownstone Worldwide. I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of BrownstoneWorldwide.com, news and information that you can use. Welcome to the neighborhood, neighbors. Let's go ahead and get this party started. We have a ton of stuff to cover and a little bit of time to get that together and share with you all. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Hey, Mike Lowry, come on back in this room, honey. We got stuff to cover. Baby, listen, I had to sit down for this one because this morning you all were on fire. And I thought, listen, we might as well just expand where we left off, okay? So this morning got a little heated. It got a little hot. I actually had to block somebody, and I was a little out of character. No one. That's just part y'all don't see, okay? But here we are, and I wanted to start off by saying that you can always head over to brownstoneworldwide.com for more news and information that you can use, and to get yourself acclimated. You can always check out Brownstone Living Magazine. If you have not gotten your free digital copy, go over to the Stand store right now. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook, or if you're on brownstoneworldwide.com itself, the actual digital version is available on the main page. You can literally go ahead and get your digital copy, and I'll be sharing the cover with you guys because it is none other than Mr. Freddie Taylor himself, the owner and founder of Urban Intellectuals, which literally does everything Black history. And so you definitely want to check it out. And since it is Black History Month, we thought it'd only be fitting that Mr. Taylor be on the cover. All right. So big shout out to him and everything that he does. You can definitely go ahead and check him out at urbanintellectuals.com. Now, let's talk about what happened this morning on the day shift. So the day shift was hot. It was on fire because we learned some things happened overnight. The Republican House passed, listen closely, passed, and voted yes. There was, one Republican voted no on the budget, on the budget. Have y'all heard this? Here's what I need you all to hear on what happened. And I'm going to be sharing that with you all a little bit later. Number two, we learned that there is a gold card that DJT has introduced for people to become American citizens. How much is it, you ask? It is. It makes you angry, doesn't it, Dee? It makes me angry. It really, really does. So this gold card is literally being introduced for the wealthy. So, and we were sitting here, we were teasing, talking about the way he said the way he said wealthy. So the wealthy will be able to come into the US of A with $5 million and they'll get a gold immigration card, right? So that's going to afford them specific things, right? Almost as if he's selling a resort. Then we found out that he has decided that he's going to fund specific things by selling off portions of parcels of American land. And what American land, may you ask? Well, that would be portions of your federal parks. Those things that have been protected since we got here. That was part of the deal, right? Let's protect this, let's protect that. No, he's like, nope, it's all up for grabs. And remember, we talked about this morning, where this is a strategy, right? So what we're talking about is, I'm gonna have to fix that because you guys are talking and I don't know how to turn that off, because I want y'all to be able to talk freely. I think I did that when I blocked somebody today and I turned off the comments. So it says he does. He thinks he's running a business, and he is not running a business. So I'm just gonna have to pay attention and approve you all stuff until I figure out what in the world I did, y'all. Let y'all know. So he's decided that he's going to sell off parcels of land from the federal parks and so forth. So it begs to differ. So what we talked about this morning was this has been a strategy all along. And we talked about this too. And I want to definitely bring this up and show this video. Pray harder than ever. Yes, honey, pray and fight. Yeah, I said it just like that. So he said, so what I said this morning was, not he, but what I said this morning was, this is strategic. This is a strategy, most definitely, to throw us off of our game. Because if you can prove that the federal parks can't be taken care of or whatever, you already know they're going to privatize it. And privatizing it means somebody's going to be able to come in, run it, and do whatever they want to with it and sell off pieces of it as they please. Right. So it's all strategy. It's all strategy. It's all to keep us off of our game on what's really, really happening. Right. So we're talking about that. We talked about, like I said, the gold card this morning. Y'all was so fired up this morning. You wouldn't even let me get through the news on Brownstone Worldwide. Because y'all know in the morning, I don't do the commentary. Like, I come here at 12 o'clock and I do the commentary. But this morning, oh, baby, listen, y'all were going. Y'all was like, girl, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk. And then somebody got really indignant, was like, well, what are you planning on doing instead of sitting here and complaining? We're not complaining. We are informing. This is the way that I inform. I sit down and I say, let's have a seat at the table or at my kitchen counter and let's talk about what's going on. If I sound like I'm complaining, I am not the creator for you. Okay, let's talk about Jeff Bezos real quick. Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos. He has made it clear that the Washington Post, you know, they have like this little commentary section or whatever. They will only be writing about personal liberties and the free market. You can no longer give your opinion on the Washington Post if you work for the Washington Post. So the head of that department stepped down today. Does this sound a little weird to y'all? Like all of a sudden, the people that had the voice and the words to say literally are being removed. Joy Reid, Don Lemon, all of these people that they say are racists and leftists and all of this stuff, right? It seems a little strange to me that all of these people are being let go. It's odd. I'm a little perturbed. And so Jeff Bezos has made it clear. So now y'all got a decision to make, and we're getting ready to dig into this, right? So y'all got a decision to make. You got a decision that you need to make, because Jeff Bezos also owns what? Of course, you know, Amazon. So he's already said, this is what we're going to talk about, and we're not going to talk about this. He's also a multi-billionaire based upon the fact that there are thousands of people that work at his particular warehouses who literally can't afford housing, can't afford food, and have to apply for food stamps. Doesn't this sound a little strange to you all that this is going on and we're in this constant cycle of I can't afford, I can't. Here's another one. Walmart does their people the same way. I used to work for Walmart. I know. Thank you, Carol. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate you. Hey, Tom. Hey, Loretta. Thank you for those of you all who are joining us on Facebook and YouTube. Right? So let's talk about that just for a little bit, shall we? And I didn't want to go down this road, but since we here, let's also talk about this. First of all, I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, the podcasting app, and the website of the same name, and Brownstone Living Magazine. Why is this so important right now? Then we're going to talk about media. We're going to talk about Black media, but we're also going to talk about media. I'm doing well today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate you. Let people know that we're here. Tap on that screen if you feel so inclined. You don't have to, but show me a little love and let folks know we're here. I talked about this morning too, where media is being attacked. Okay, I'm from media. Media is me. That's my mantra. I've been with media since I was a young girl. Either I was performing on stage or I was traveling the world performing. And then I got in, and even before that, y'all, I started out doing the morning announcements in high school with one of my bestest friends. And I've stayed in media ever since. Before then, I used to read all of the Ebony and Jet magazines and Negro Digests in my parents' basement. That's how long I've been in media. It's all I know. And then I went into radio. And then after radio, I started Brownstone Worldwide. It used to be called the Brownstone Center. We did news and information that you can use. We've had podcast shows before podcasts had the name podcast, because podcasting is nothing but talk radio. Let's stop calling it something that it ain't when it's something that it is. Okay. So I've been doing this for over 30 years. You see the gray? Yeah. That's how long I've been doing it. Now, I'm bringing this up because media has absolutely changed, and I saw it well before anybody else did. I urged the company that I worked for at the time to get an online presence before it was a thing. I begged them to do it, and they didn't do it, and they missed the opportunity. I urged them to pay attention to what was happening and how everything was going more virtually before it was a thing. And all they wanted to do was stay in this lane. And so when I decided to move back to Atlanta, I said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and just start my own thing. And here we are. Right. And one of the reasons why I'm glad that I did it is because I'm paying attention to what's happening with places like the Washington Post, which has someone who owns it and says, you can't write about this. You can't write about that. You can't do that with my company because I own it. I own it. Okay. Period. Point blank. You're not going to tell me what I can and cannot write about, or the people that submit their content for Brownstone Worldwide. If you want to submit commentary, submit commentary. What we're not going to do is be extremists, and we're not going to submit to violence. That's what we don't do here. But we do like to make sure that you have a place where you can come and you can vent and you can share how you feel and share those thoughts and ideas. Remember, I said this earlier in today's live. I said on the day shift, they didn't want Black folks in my ancestors. They didn't want us to learn how to read for this very reason, because the minute that you learn how to read, you start thinking for yourself. And the minute that people start sharing thoughts and ideas, then you can begin to think for yourself. And they're trying to take that away so they can continue to be the ones that make the majority of the coins in this country. What I want you all also to understand is that this is not a fight on racism. They're trying to make it about that. This is not about anything else except the rich versus the poor. And we witnessed a group of people that were voted in by the American people make a decision for their constituents that does not have their best interest at heart. I need you all to understand a couple of things if you are not aware. Social Security is nothing free that the government gives you, baby. The minute that you clock in on your very first job, when you a child, when you a teenager, and you get excited and get that first little check, and you ask your mama what FICA is and what Social Security is, and how come I worked this many hours and I only brought home $20. That's what you've been paying into. You've been paying into this. And your employer paid 15% of that. so you could have something to live on when you made the decision to retire. Nobody gave you that. Same thing with Medicare. You've been paying into it and they're cutting it. They're cutting something that you paid into. Your entire life as an employee on jobs or job, depending how long you've been there, you've been paying into this. Go look at your check stub and see for yourself. And if you're not livid, and if you're not angry, and if you're not on fire about this, you ought to be, because basically what they told you is I'm taking your money and it ain't nothing you can do about it. They're cutting for the people that never paid into it. I wish you people would understand. Exactly, C. Anderson. Exactly. You've been paying into this. They're not taking anything from you that you didn't pay into. And so now it's going to impact the very people that have been paying into it all of these years. Let's talk about what happened with the VA. Their procurement cards, their little debit cards that they use, that has a dollar amount on it, so they can do what they need to do for patients and transportation of veterans and so forth. Veterans now, they removed the money from the card and put a dollar on it. A dollar. Republicans and Democrats ought to be livid about the stealing and laundering. Yes, they should be. They're not. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to inform. Now, what you do with it is your business. You hear me? Come on and sit down at my table. I might not be all official and stuff like that, but I love to tell people what's happening, and then you make a decision on what you want to do. It is completely up to you, dear hearts. But please understand, the more that you know, the more informed that you are, you can make better decisions. So let me show you the first video before I go down the rabbit hole. The first video that came out today, and it came from Truth Social. He is so concerned and mentally disturbed. You ready? Girl, where we going? Where we going? I'm going to pack my bags and we going together, okay? That's where I'm at, okay? So let me share with you all on YouTube and on Facebook the video on Trump Gaza. Are you ready for this? Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. Here we go.
Golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1. Donald is coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1. Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
Did you see that? I know those who are on TikTok have probably already seen it. It's probably circulated all over. But if you haven't seen it, feel free. It's called Trump Gaza. And evidently, you know that this is something that was created for him, probably posted on his behalf to his own social media page on Truth Social, right? Now, what we don't want to do, and listen closely to this because we talked about this. What we don't want to do is focus on that, because that's what they want us to focus on, folks. You hear me? That's what they want us to focus on. They want us so fired up about this foolery that we miss what's really happening. That's how we missed this selling off of parcels of land, because that executive order was signed on February 3rd. And we were so fired up about all of the letting goes and all of that. And I'm not saying that we should not be concerned, because we do know what he's already said about Gaza. We already know what he said. We know. We need to remain informed, because what's happening is we're missing an opportunity to actually see what they're doing. That's what's happening. Now, I need you all to pay attention to a couple of things that your GOP Congress decided that they were going to say no to. Are you ready? It's so bad he makes changes while we're sleeping, which is my point. And sometimes we sleep with our eyes open. This was to put us to sleep so we could talk about it and tweet about it and be mad about it and do videos about it. I promise you, my eyes are wide open. It is a distraction technique to keep us involved in the nothingness of that particular video that literally somebody made for him. Because y'all know he ain't got he don't have it. He don't have it. All right. So let's take a listen to what was lost by the Republicans voting no.
Here is a list of things Republicans voted no against in straight amendments. No to federal grants for women and children who are assaulted or beaten up by their husbands and fathers. No to protecting funding for Alzheimer's research. No to protecting health care through Medicare for mothers and their children. No to protecting free breakfast and lunch programs at school. No to reducing the cost of prescription drugs. No to protecting food stamps, SNAP benefits. And no to lowering energy prices for people who have trouble affording to heat their home and also eat. But they voted yes to continue the tax cuts for billionaires. In fact, they voted yes to continue tax cuts on anyone making over $10 million a year. They were straight amendments that Republicans could just vote yes or no on to protecting these things. And they said no. Why? Because that's who they are. They don't care about the regular working American citizen. They just don't. Call your senators and let them know you are aware that they voted against all these amendments and ask them to explain themselves as to why.
Be asking why. That's what we should be doing at this point. Time out for complaining and crying. Time out for pretending that this isn't happening. Y'all, this is happening in real time. And you ought to be on fire. Or as my mama says, and I done picked up her habit, you ought to be hot as fish grease. And fish grease is hot. Okay? And if you're not, then it's something wrong. Here's the phone number if you want to call your congressman. Area code 202-224-3121. Again, that phone number is area code 202-224-3121. I'm going to go ahead and post that up here as well, because sometimes I don't believe y'all think that fat meat is greasy. Like the old folks used to say, I don't believe you think that fat meat is greasy. But listen, it's greasy. It is greasy. And you ought to be tired. You ought to be tired, but not so tired that you are not willing to get up and to be proactive in your communities. Now, one of the other things that I said that we were going to come here today and talk about was the economic blackout. So we've been hearing in these internet streets about this economic blackout. But after doing some further research and understanding a couple of things that you need to know is this. One, an economic blackout does not do any good if it's just for one day. And we're fully aware of that, right? But here's something else too. That I heard a sister say on TikTok today. She said that the bus boycott remained in place until their demands were met. There was not a deadline. There was not a date. There was none of that. Okay. The bus boycott remained in position until their demands were met. Period. That's the way that it worked. They walked, they did what they had to do until their demands were met. Let me share some information with you all that came from someone who actually works in corporate. And she says, I've worked corporate retail for 20 years. It's literally my job to know how and why consumers spend. One day won't mean jack diddly. Now, she didn't say, she said the S word, okay? Right? Stop buying everything except your essentials until further notice. If you're serious about making companies pay attention, long-term action is the only way. Delete all of your retail apps. Unsubscribe from all of their email lists. Go to the actual site and leave site reviews telling them exactly what you're doing and why. Every company, and this is true, tracks what we call NPS scores. For those of you all who are not familiar with the term, NPS stands for Net promoter score. Okay. And they measure that, and that helps them towards the end of the year to make decisions on what they're going to be selling to you in the incoming new seasons for the new year, right? Consumer sentiment is important to them to direct future plans. Like I just said, email customer service daily. All right. Fill your carts and abandon them. Don't, but don't fill with crazy high ticket ones. Fill with what you would normally purchase. High ticket items they'll ignore as flukes, bots, etc. People whose shopping data they already have, who fill and abandon, they'll pay more attention to. Did you hear what I said? I'm literally going to read this again. So big shout out to her for sharing this information. Not everyone can boycott because of places like Walmart and other places who are these food deserts and so forth. This is where you're getting the majority of your items from. She says, I grew up in a super rural area. Research brands they carry that are on the lesser of all evils, if nothing else, and buy those. I've talked about that. We're going to share that in just a minute. The big brands will lose market share. They hate to lose market share. They'll scramble to figure out why and where it's going. And lastly, seeing the impact is going to take time. So this is not going to be a one-time deal, folks. It's not going to be a one-time deal. And here's the other thing. It's earnings call season for most retailers who end their fiscal year on 1/31. We won't see their Q1 2025 results until May. Hold the line. Hold the line. Listen to what she just said. Fill your carts and abandon them. Delete yourself from their email lists. Send surveys because they research their NPS score, their net promoter score. That is important. So this is more than just holding for one day, because y'all can hold for one day. Because guess what? You might catch a cold. You're going to be home anyway. You might sit around and watch TV all day or something like that, or Netflix or Hulu, right? But if you can hold the line, they will be able to see the long-term effects. So I had to share that with you all because there's so many of us who want to stand in solidarity in the ways that we can. You've been holding since same here. Same here. I've been holding since January on a couple of them. Me and Target fell out about a year and a half ago when they started putting their LGBTQ stuff in the back of the store. I was like, oh, we out. We out. Yeah. I want you all to hear me on this, is that this is going to be a long-term commitment if you want to see real results. You hold the line until your demands are met. Don't get discouraged. So let's talk about Pepsi as well, right? So let's talk about that. Here's something else too, Unilever. So here's something else I did too. Yesterday, I said I was going to come on here and we were going to start sharing some information on, it's going to take time. It's going to take some time. And I need you all to understand this. Now, I do know that there are also private groups that are sharing information about this. And I'm going to be sharing that on brownstoneworldwide.com a little bit later, and also in my stand store so that you all can take a look and join where you want, right? I haven't been in Walmart since the week before Christmas. Ooh, child, you ain't playing at all. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes. I'm going to tell y'all what I do. I shop local. Okay. I have found several businesses here locally where I do all of my grocery shopping. And I said I was going to do it yesterday, and then I got caught up, and then I got tired, and then I was like, oh, I'll do it another day. But this is too important for me to miss another day. So this weekend, I'm going to film me at a local grocer that's family owned that I frequent, because if we're going to, we still need food, we still need our essentials. Stock up on that stuff if you can, but if you can get it from other grocers, Black-owned businesses, Latino-owned businesses, all of these people, your farmers markets and so forth, these people literally sit outside and sell the same thing that these big box retailers do, right? So do that. I do too. You go to the Indian and African. Yes, the small local stores. It is so important. Number one, because they got to eat. Number two, most of these people live in your community. Their kids go to school with your kids. Okay. And what happens is we'll find that the dollars that we're spending are spending more time in our own local communities. I ain't talking about just shopping Black, absolute or Latino or whatever, right? I'm talking shopping where you live so everybody can eat. I'm being 100 honest, 100% honest with y'all. So we're going to repeat this again. I'm going to screen share this. Because she was like, go ahead and share it. And I'm going to share it on TikTok and everywhere else that I possibly can, because it is important for us to understand exactly what is going on. This is going to be a long game. Y'all hear me? This is not anything that we need to play with. This is going to be a long game, because they are not playing with us. They have proven that they do not care about the American people. Now, let's listen in. This is a couple minutes, about 2 or 3 minutes, but I need you all to hear this young man from TikTok. So big shout out to him. I'll share his name afterwards. He shared information about what happened. It is very important. Consistency is key, y'all. We cannot. And when I come back, I'm gonna start sharing with y'all some of the stuff I'm gonna be doing that I've done for years. Shop small, y'all, because we out here. We are out here. Do what you got to do. All right. Now, let's take a listen to what this gentleman had to say about what happened when they got the bill approved and how sneakily they did it. If you're on TikTok, you've probably already seen it, but I had to share it with my other folks.
They lied to Democrats, waited for them to leave, and then brought the resolution back to a vote. House Republicans just passed the budget resolution to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, education, and food stamps. This is exactly how they did it. The Republicans stalled the vote for more than an hour, then pulled the vote from happening. The Republicans waited for Democrats to leave, and once they left, decided to bring the vote back to the floor. The House Democratic Whip's office said Republicans had assured Democrats there would be no further votes before it was brought back up. This is the type of sneaky shit they did in order to get this shit passed, just in case any Republican decided to vote no last minute with the Democrats. Nevertheless, the Democrats came back to vote, and again, just to remind you, the Republican budget plan instructs committees to craft legislation that would cut $4.5 trillion in taxes for the ultra wealthy. This is not for all of us. Again, remember the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy told us anybody making under $360,000 a year is going to see an increase in their taxes. And anybody making over $360,000 a year and even over $1 million a year is going to see tax cuts. And the Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said, we have a lot of hard work ahead of us. We're going to deliver on the American First agenda. We're going to deliver all of it, not just parts of it. And this is the first step in the process. This means that 73 million Americans are not going to be able to collect a Social Security check. This means that 68 million people who are enrolled in Medicare are about to lose their health care. Not to mention the 72 million people who are on Medicaid. And mind you, these healthcare services are not discriminate, so they do impact Democrats, Republicans, men, women, children, people of all races. So for these MAGA people that are like, yeah, we own them libs, bitch, you just fucking played yourself. Not to mention the 42 million people who are on food stamps. Let me also say this, the millions of people that are on these services, it's not that they're the waste, fraud, and abuse or people abusing the system. It's the fact that the system is abusing them, which is why they need these motherfucking programs in the fucking first place. So now the resolution goes back to the Senate. Once the Senate passes the budget, Republicans in Congress can start a process known as reconciliation and ultimately pass legislation without Democratic support. The budget reconciliation process only needs 51 votes. Republicans in Congress currently have 53. This is why it's important to vote down ballot, not just for the President of the United States, and why it's super important to vote on years when it's not even the presidential election. Because that's when you can have more Democrats in the House and the Senate in order for them to stop bullshit like this from passing. But in the meantime, call 202-224-3121, 202-224-3121, and let your congressperson know how you fucking feel about this.
Thank you so much for that. I'll be sharing his information a little bit later. I want you all to know that this is serious business. They are not playing with the American people. They have already played hardball all the way, and they played the Democrats, took a break, and voted anyway, and told them that they weren't going to do it. Vote down the ballot. Yes, vote down the ballot. Thank you, CJ. Thank you for that. You have to vote down the ballot or it does no good. Stop just voting for your president. You have to vote down the ballot. That's how we keep ending up with the same folks in office. And that go for Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. That's how we ended up with people who don't need to be in office for another year, still there. That's why you end up with somebody on a book tour while everybody else is over here trying to figure out why Paris is burning. I said it. That's why we got people who got elected in that's begging to be let into federal buildings, and you're an elected official, right? I don't want us to be stressed out. I want us to be informed. And in your informing of yourself, I need us to continue to do what we need to do to, one, take care of our homes, take care of our personal bottom lines. What does that look like? I don't know what. And see, here's what's funny. I'm with you, right? You're saying, so we have someone on TikTok, everybody else, because I'm live on about 5 different platforms. Why aren't people getting it? I mean, come on now. This is simple. They playing in your face. That's why I shared that video with Donald Trump first, because that's what they want y'all to pay attention to. They want y'all to be mad about that instead of really mad about this. So fired up that you calling your congressman at area code 212-224-3121. Area code 202-224-3121. They're not trying to tell you what's going on. They want to give you those cartoons so you can pay attention to that. He wants to call himself king and create these fake Time magazine images of himself so y'all can be riled up about that instead of about this. And then we miss it, and then we wake up and something else got signed. Something else got cut. They want us to pay attention to the things that do not matter. I'm telling you, we're going to have to hold the line, and we're going to have to get in here for the long term. I will be sharing this information once again with you all. Okay. It is super, super, super important. Now, one of the things I've always told people to vote blue down the back. You have to, and you got to be careful. Do your research, folks. Sometimes these blue folks don't mean us no good. And I'm going to say it again, while you out here on a book tour and the entire Paris is literally burning around you, and you on a book tour, bruh. What we doing? Shock and awe tactics, period. Thank you. That's what they're doing. And at the same time that we mad about insignificant bull, they are running game on us. I feel like a 20-year-old girl who's in love with a very busy man. Okay? Do not pay attention to it. This man just told y'all that if you are wealthy, you can buy your American citizenship. Playing it in our face. Absolutely. That's exactly what they're doing. I have no idea what my Facebook and YouTube friends are saying, or my Bigo friends. Let me go ahead and set up so I can see what you all are saying, if you're saying anything. But yes, I need you all to hear me when I say that that's exactly what is happening. Do not fall for it. Don't give it no energy. Keep your focus on what we just talked about today. Keep your energy. If you was hanging out at the Washington Post, unsubscribe. If you was reading it, shut it down. Go get your news somewhere. Matter of fact, come on over to Brownstone Worldwide. We try to keep up. We're new, but that's okay. We're going to get there. I'm trying to tell you. What I need you all to hear me on is we have got to consolidate. We got to come together. And I don't care if you purple. Are you human? Are you human? That's where we need to be. I need y'all to hear me on this. It is not about black or white like the campaign that he ran on. And that's how he divided this country. And they knew all along what they were doing. And we told y'all. And then somebody came on my live, and she meant well, and I know she did. So shout out to her. She said 92% supposed to be sitting down. How am I supposed to sit down and my house is on fire? Right, the Boston Tea Party. No more kings. Y'all remember that song from Schoolhouse Rock? Oh, for God's sake. Which one? Trump Gaza? We have to stick together on this as American people, as people. Yes, girl. Crystal, you just got here. That was the first video I showed. Yep. First video I showed, Trump Gaza. That's horrifying. And as I said, I posted a video about it on TikTok and on Facebook. I said that it is a deterrent. It's a factor. It's a deterrent factor. That's what they want us to be focused on. Don't give them that satisfaction, because that whole thing about being king and all of that, oh baby, that was a distraction. Y'all woke up, honey, and they had cut some more stuff. They told us that we didn't need any more people at the Social Security Administration, and you got to wait 2 and 3 hours when you get there. Listen, and ain't nobody else in there. But you know what? Let me just do this. For all of the people that voted for this, and now you starting to suffer the consequences because your insurance for your copay for your meds just went up. You're finding out that your Medicaid and your Medicare is getting ready, and you getting food stamps. And I saw a young lady, honey, she was crying, I voted for you. Da 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 da. My daughter's not even black, and she got fired from her job. I got something for you. And that is all. Y'all gonna start seeing this, okay? Listen, I'm ready. Okay, it even comes with its own little bowl. So the next time y'all want to cry, we just gonna pull out the mini violin instead of me doing this. And some people say, well, what is she doing? No, where can you get one? Let me tell y'all where I got this from. Marshall's. I got this from Marshall's. I'm sure you can order these just about anywhere, but I saw it and I was like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. This is a must. Because listen, can I do it one more time? They were warned. Okay. CJ, what did you say? Yes, cry tears. Tears of privilege. I don't want to hear it. We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you, but here we are. And baby, when I tell you, I'm not laughing because we fucking around and finding out with you. Okay? I just want y'all to know. Okay? Oh, I'm not trying to be funny, but listen, go get you a violin. And every time they talk about something that they didn't know, go ahead and pull this bad boy out. Okay? Not kidding. Kidding, not kidding. I'm so serious. Because we tried to tell you. Now, here we are again. I'm going to put my little cake right back on. And I'm back in here at my table. At the dining room table. So they want Big Mama to come out. She out. She out. Oh, yeah. We all told them. A lot of people told them. I heard a woman, I said this morning. I heard a woman, I watched her with these two eyeballs right here when they said, are you going to vote for Kamala? She turned around, honey, she might have had two teeth up front and one at the bottom. So clearly she's on some kind of assistance, and I'm not dogging her out. I just know that means you're getting some type of assistance, whether you earned it or not, you're getting it. And I would not deny any human being the right to proper health care, right? Including dental care, because I need it. So she says, well, what do you mean am I voting for her? Can't no woman run this country. And I thought, and then she said, can't no black woman run this country. And I thought, Lord have mercy. And he ran and won based on people like that. Couldn't pass a civics class if we gave you the answers. Okay? 37,000. How's that? And your point. Well, he averaged a month. Okay. Trump just getting started, honey. Please let a woman. Please let a woman. I'm just saying. So I didn't come here to get all riled up, but that's just in my nature. I'm a very passionate person, and I don't intend to be. Maybe I'll make some collard greens next time and some cornbread and fry a little chicken and some macaroni and cheese and stuff, right? And let y'all watch me walk away, okay? And waiting to exhale style while I carry on with my violin. But either way, you still gonna get this news. You're still shocked in Europe. Stella, I know you all are. Y'all probably sitting somewhere now, sipping as much tea as I've been sipping over the past couple of days, going, oh my God. I keep a kettle, and I'm being funny. I'm being funny. I shouldn't do that, but I'm so serious. We keep the tea on here. It stay hot. Real talk. It's just amazing to me, and I'm so not disappointed. I just remember the day that I woke up and I went to bed early because I knew. And I said, well, let me go ahead and lay down. Because, a lot of us went with Black women and so forth. We had already decided we was going to go lay down. And I'm laying down. But I could not in my right mind, knowing that I own a media company and knowing the voice that I have, not provide you with information. This is not to fire you up or rile you up. This is to inform you, and you do with it what you want. Led by a woman, honey, and she wearing it out, ain't she? Yes. Tell us again and post where to get our news. Please repeat something. Okay, so this is where you could get news and information that you could use. Yes, our database is back up and running. We had to bring in somebody last night, so we're still getting everything caught up. brownstoneworldwide.com is where you can find me. Also, let me go ahead and let you know where to find Brownstone Living magazine. So Brownstone Living magazine is also available, you guys, if you want to go ahead and get your copy. Mr. Freddie Taylor of Urban Intellectuals is on the cover of this month's issue of Brownstone Living magazine for Black History Month. And there he is. This is the digital copy of Brownstone Living magazine. You can go ahead and get your free digital copy over at brownstoneworldwide.com. Yep. Girl, did you what? Stella? Yes, I saw them. And I was like, who did that? Yes. So I'm gonna have to find it and share that as well, right? So here's the thing. What have we covered so far today? Jeff Bezos, owner of the Washington Post, said, y'all not writing about that no more. So now freedom of speech, which according to the American Constitution, if you pass your civics class, is what? That's your right as an American citizen. Okay? It's the first thing that they tell you, your freedom of speech. But I guess if you own the platform, you can tell people what they can and cannot say, MSNBC. Oh, did I say that? I sure did. When you do not own the platform, you cannot tell people what to, you cannot do what you would like to do. Not long term without it impacting anything. Right? We've seen what happened to Miss Harris Taylor. We saw what happened to Ms. Reed. We saw what happened to Mr. Lemon. We saw that. Roland Martin, people like that who shook up things just a little bit. But guess what? They got up and they stood up and they kept standing for the people, and they're still standing for the people. Okay? And they're going to continue to do that because they are who they are. But what I want you all to understand is that there is a new platform. Welcome to the neighborhood. You are all officially people in the neighborhood. You are my neighbors, honey. We're going to start calling y'all that. Listen, and y'all going to come in here. We're going to sit at this table and we're going to get this news. You're going to get this work. And sometimes we're going to encourage you. And sometimes we're going to tell you what's happening and what's hot. And we're also going to tell you what is going on in terms of the brands that you like or love, because you got decisions to make. I don't care what race you are. We're on our second female prime minister and doing very well. Come on now. Yes. Snap, snap. Amen. Listen, Unilever, who told Ben and Jerry's to pipe down. Remember when Ben and Jerry's was acquired by Unilever and so many other companies are acquired by these major corporations? Let's start putting some of these folks on blast, shall we? Unilever owns Dove, Knorr. Do you know what Knorr is? The ice cream? Yeah. Life Buoy. Yeah. Axe. You know, Axe, smell good all day long. Close Up. Yeah. Comfort. Hellman's and Best Foods. Come on now. You listening? You ought to be. Lux. Magnum. And I ain't talking about the condoms either. I'm talking about the ice cream. Yes. Clear. Pond's, Sif, Glow and Lovely. You got to switch us up here. Girl, listen, it's some soap out there, baby. Listen, there's a grocery store, Mexican grocery store up the street from me. Let me find out that they got some nice soap. It's on the popping. Okay. Surf, Pepsodent for my denture wearers. Yeah. Shop local. Keep shopping local. Cornetto, Domestos, Domex, Rexona, and there's more, right? Let's talk about Nestle. Who does Nestle own? Oh, Oh, y'all thought we was just talking about the store? No, absolutely not. Milo, Gerber, Nescafe, Nespresso, Nestle Pure Life, Boost, protein drinks, Haagen-Dazs, Nesquik, Nestea. Oh yeah. Toll House, Arrow, Blue Bottle Coffee, Cat Chow, Friskies, Kit Kat. Go ahead, let this be your last candy bar. Go ahead, it's all right. Cocoa Crunch, Cheerios, Dolce Gusto, and more. We're going to do Procter & Gamble tomorrow. Okay? Friskies. We're going to do Coca-Cola tomorrow. Pepsi tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to give y'all about 3. Then you make a decision on what you want to do, right? Yeah, absolutely. Friskies, Cat Chow, all of them. And I'm just going through a quick list, right? Oh, thank you so much. You girl, come back. Make sure you come on back and set a spell with us. Like I said, sometimes I go in the kitchen, honey, and I cook and we talk. And they're putting poison in our food and medicine to keep us sick. Yeah, they are. Thank y'all so much for joining us today and getting some of this tea. Let me sip on mine. Hold on just a minute. Of course, I'm being funny because sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying, right? Well, listen, I've been here. Yes. What you say, preach, Baba? Yes. Listen, then that's what I'm going to have to be. Because y'all not paying attention any other way when I throw my wig on and act my age. Let me go ahead and take it off and show this gray and show y'all I got a little wisdom and I know what I'm talking about. And I'll share this story and I'm going to share this story until I am blue in the face. Yes, brownstoneworldwide.com. Head over there. You can follow me at Brownstone Worldwide on YouTube. You can follow me. I officially got a Substack page. I did. So I'm going to be loading some of these programs and additional things on there because I'm going to start tearing some things apart. Listen, let's talk about that, Sybil. We starting a garden because I got a huge little backyard, right? We starting a garden. I done already started my little seedlings. Mama Smurf, yes. I love it. Substack, yes. I had to do it because I was like, if I am going to continue, thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate that. Yes, you have to laugh sometimes to keep from crying. My mother used to always say that. Well, when I was a little girl, this is why what I'm talking about is so important. And I tell this story often because I need you all to hear me. When I was a young girl growing up, I grew up in a foster home. My foster parents grew up in the 20s. One, she was from Kentucky. He was from Pennsylvania, right? They met, got married, moved to Wisconsin. And one day when I was taking civics class, we were learning about the Great Depression. I asked her, I said, we called her Mama D. I said, Mama D, what was it like growing up in the 20s during the Great Depression? Because I had heard what had happened and people was, unaliving themselves and doing all this foolishness and stuff. She said, what depression? And I was like, huh? That's not true. She was like, no. What you mean, what depression? We wasn't in no depression. Those folks she said, we were not in a depression because we were not allowed to be around white folks unless we worked for them. We had our own grocery stores. We had our own everything. We had our own community. We didn't need them because we grew our own food. We bought our own stuff from our own people. We were in our own world. And this was in Bowling Green, Kentucky. What is my point? Because we can do the same now. They lived in a Jim Crow era and made it just fine. Just fine. Yes, they made it just fine. And we will be all right, like Kendrick Lamar says. And like your big mama says. And like your grandparents said when they went through what they went through. And here's something else I want you all to understand. I was born right after the assassination of Martin Luther King. I was born a year later. And I can remember hearing stories of my birth father saying he remembers my grandfather being the first Black dozer operator who built the highways, the first Black man who built the highways from Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas and Louisiana, which is where my family is from. And he remembers not being able to cash his check because they told him that was too much money for an N-word to make. And they would tear his check up in his face. So he had to start asking his boss man for his money in cash so he could feed his family. But somehow they made it. Somehow he put the kids through school. And he died young. He died at 54. Somehow my uncle went to the Vietnam War and he made it back, but he didn't make it back okay. Somehow my family made it. Somehow my dad is still here and he's able to tell the story. My parents lived through Jim Crow. My grandparents' parents were born slaves. I need y'all to hear me. Because what this means is we are still standing on the shoulders of greats who went out of their way for us to be able to have the voice that we have. How dare we not use it? How dare we get comfortable because we got this and we got that and we can tap and we can type and we living in nicer homes than our parents could have ever had? How dare we? They fought for the right to have the American dream, and we should do the same to keep it, maintain it, and make sure that it is available for those who deserve the right to be here by earning it, by wanting it, by desiring it, by working for it, by providing for each other and creating we the people for real. Do not get distracted. That's what they want. Pay attention to what is happening all around you. And don't say, I can't march, then talk. Don't say, I can't talk, then type. Don't say what you cannot do. There is something for you to do in the neighborhood that you are currently in. You have to get out there and you have to make it happen. Because I'm going to tell you something. Some of the people that y'all voted in are telling you what they think about you. And thank you for listening and watching, Lucy. This is just the beginning. And I want you all to know something. I say this often and I'm going to continue to say it until you get it. The power of collective consciousness can never be denied. Don't you ever think for a moment that this is by accident. In the bigness of all of this, if that is even a word, bigly, let's talk about that. But in the bigness of it all, this was designed to create something better. It is up to us to hear the true call of what this is all about. Good always wins. We have the ability to be great, not just great Americans, but great people to one another. And with that, my time on Tips, Topics, and Talk is done. 3 things that I always like to tell each and every last one of you all when you are a part of Tips, Topics, and Talk or the Day Shift. First of all, I'm Paulette. I'm the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, the app, and the website of the same name, and Brownstone Living Magazine. Go ahead and get your digital copy of this month's issue. And also the January issue is available as well. And I'm that cute girl on the cover for December. Yes, you can get them all above my head. Now, here's something else that I want you to do. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because one day you're not going to be here. You might as well enjoy everything that is your life because you only get one you. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. I'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. you need, go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Verner, here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency, and this as a man right now, and things aren't created.